Barak Yahweh Barakatah, Yehoshua, Barak Yahweh Barakatah, Yehoshua, Ba Hashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles, the elders, salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and sincerity. A lesson will be entitled Understanding the True Essence of Grape. And in order to understand the true essence of grape, we must understand Newspeak. And according to my Google search, Newspeak is a fictional language created by George Orwell in his 1949 novel 1984. It's a controlled language with a limited vocabulary and simplified grammar that was designed to restrict a person's ability to think critically. This is what it means. The term has also come to be used more generally to describe confusing or deceptive bureaucratic jargon. Okay? Again, the point, it's a controlled language with a limited vocabulary and simplified grammar that was designed to restrict a person's ability to think critically. Etymon means what? The study of words. And around the 14th century, rape meant seize, prey, abduct, take, and carry off by force. This is the true essence for this term. Seize, carry off by force, abduct. Around the 15th century, this term was changed. Act of abducting a woman or sexually violating her or both is from the 15th century. Prior to the 15th century, it only meant seize, prey, abduct, take, and carry off by force. Around the 15th century, it was modified. Act of abducting a woman or sexually violating her or both. This is Newspeak. In Judges chapter 20, the tribe of Benjamin defiled a wife of a Levite. This was presented to the elders of our nation, okay? And of course, there was a war amongst the tribes versus Benjamin. After two wars, I believe, and you can fact check me, Benjamin was winning. And I want to say the first two wars. The third war, Benjamin lost. And Benjamin dropped down to a number of 600 men that were left. Now, the elders of our nation vowed that no tribe, okay, would give a wife to Benjamin for this treacherous act. Okay, keep this in mind. So now, let's start at Judges 21 from the overview I just gave you. Judges 21 and verse 1. The Israelites had vowed at Mizpah, we will never give our daughters in marriage to a man from the tribe of Benjamin. Now the people went to Bethel and sat in the presence of the Most High until evening, weeping loudly and bitterly. O Yahweh, power of Israel, they cried out. Why has this happened in Israel? Now one of our tribes is missing from Israel. Early the next morning, the people built an altar and presented their burnt offerings and peace offerings on it. Then they said, who among the tribes of Israel did not join us at Mizpah when we held our assembly in the presence of Yahweh? At that time, they had taken a solemn oath in Yahweh's presence, vowing that anyone who refused to come would be put to death. The Israelites felt sorry for their brother Benjamin and said, today one of the tribes of Israel has been cut off. How can we find wives for the few who remain, 600, since we have sworn by Yahweh not to give them our daughters in marriage? See, during this time frame, your word meant everything. So they asked, who among the tribes of Israel did not join us at Mizpah when we assembled in the presence of Yahweh? And they discovered that no one from Jabesh Gilead had attended the assembly. For after they counted all the people, no one from Jabesh Gilead was present. So the assembly sent 12,000 of their best warriors to Jabesh Gilead with orders to kill everyone there, including women and children. This is what you are to do, they said. Completely destroy all the males and every woman who is not a virgin. Among the residents of Jabesh Gilead, they found 400 young virgins who had never slept with a man, and they brought them to the camp at Shiloh in the land of Canaan. Now, these inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead was a heathen nation, okay? Now, keep this in mind. This is what you are to do, they said. Completely destroy all the males and every woman who is not a virgin. Among the residents of Jabesh Gilead, these heathens, they found 400 young virgins who had never slept with a man, and they brought them to the camp at Shiloh in the land of Canaan. The Israelites' assembly sent a peace delegation to the remaining people of Benjamin, 600, who were living at the rock of Rimmon. Then the men of Benjamin returned to their homes, and the 400 women of Jabesh Gilead who had been spared were given to them as wives, but there were not enough women for all of them. We need 200 more. The people felt sorry for Benjamin, all right, because Yahweh had made this gap among the tribes of Israel. So the elders of the assembly asked, how can we find wives for the few who remain, since the women of the tribe of Benjamin are dead? There must be heirs for the survivors, so that an entire tribe of Israel is not wiped out. But we cannot give them our own daughters in marriage, because we have sworn with a solemn oath that anyone who does this will fall under the Most High's curse. Then they thought of the annual festival of Yahweh held in Shiloh, south of Lebanon and north of Bethel, along the east side of the road that goes from Bethel to Shechem. They told the men of Benjamin who still needed wives, go and hide in the vineyards. When you see the young women of Shiloh come out for their dances, rush out from the vineyards, and each of you can take one of them home to the land of Benjamin to be your wife. Now, these daughters of Shiloh were Ephraimites, so-called Puerto Rican women when you research. And when their fathers and brothers come to us in protest, right? Ephraimites, so-called Puerto Ricans. And when their fathers and brothers come to us in protest, we will tell them, please be sympathetic. Let them have your daughters. For we didn't find wives for all of them when we destroyed Jabesh Gilead, and you are not guilty of breaking the vow, since you did not actually give your daughters to them in marriage. So the men of Benjamin did as they were told. Each man caught one of the women as she danced in the celebration and carried her off to be his wife. This is grape. This is what grape means in its truest essence. Remember, according to the 14th century, seize, abduct, take, and carry off by force. Okay? So the men of Benjamin did as they were told. Each man caught one of the women as she danced in the celebration and carried her off to be his wife. They returned to their own land and they rebuilt their homes and lived in them. Then the people of Israel departed by tribes and families, and they returned to their own homes. All right, and then let's see. Judges chapter 21 and 21. And see and behold, if the daughters of Shiloh, hope I'm pronouncing it right, Shelah, Shalaki, let me see. Let me make sure. S-H-I.
Shiloh.
Okay.
Shiloh.
All right, the water. Okay, so and see and behold, if the daughters of Shiloh come out to dance in dances, then come you out of the vineyards and catch you every man his wife. Catch, right? Grape. Catch, according to the Hebrew, Strong's H2414, pronounced as ha-top, which means to catch, seize. This is the truest essence for grape. To seize, to take with, I'm trying to shrink it. To seize, to take with violence. To seize, to take with violence. Also, to clutch. If you clutch something, you're gripping it. You're holding it with force. To seize it, to abduct it. Now, we read about the tribe of Benjamin, how they were instructed by our elders to snatch or abduct or seize so-called Puerto Ricans, which were Ephraimites, according to the truth. Okay, so let's actually see a visual for grape. Okay, and this video or clip will be used for fair use, and it's entitled Troy Clip. Achilles meets Briaisius, I think. Achilles meets Briaisius.
The men found her hiding in the temple. They thought,
this is grape, people. Okay? This is grape, according to the true essence around the 14th century. Okay? They had took over the beach of Troy, and she was a spoil or booty. And she was seized, and she was brought back to Achilles by the general. Okay? This is grape in its truest essence.
she'd amuse you. The men found her hiding in the temple. I thought she'd, amuse you. What's your name? Did you not hear me?
You killed Apollo's priests.
Killed men in 5 countries, never a priest.
Then your men did. Sun God will have his vengeance.
What's he waiting for?
The right time to strike.
His priests are dead and his acolytes are captive. I think your god is afraid of me.
Afraid. Apollo is master of the sun. There's nothing.
Where is he?
You're nothing but a killer. You wouldn't know anything about the gods.
I know more about the gods than your priests. I've seen them. You're royalty, aren't you? Spent years talking down to men. You must be royalty. What's your name? Even the servants of Apollo have names.
Perseus.
It's a lot there. Achilles meets Perseus.
Are you afraid, Perseus?
Should I be?
My lord.
That's enough on it. So this is a visual, okay, of grape in its truest form, in its essence, okay? Now, Judges 21, we read about it. And Troy was associated with this video to give you a visual, okay? Lord, will you were edified. Shalom.